Alright, welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to be going over a pretty crazy battle I had yesterday in Gen 5 OU. I was feeling kind of nostalgic. I thought I'd play some Gen 5. And I saw this Hail team that I had, and I thought, why not? I don't know. It's been a while since I've played some Hail, so there you go. You can see there's a Walrein on this team, and that is indeed the Pokemon that leads to the craziness that is this battle. But yeah, I think this is a team I made by myself, so it's definitely not a good team. The idea is, I mean, this is a stall set Walrein. You got a physically offensive Abomasnow just to bop things, but mainly to set up the Hail, right, and win the Weather War. Spadef Heatran, defensive Reuniclus, defensive Ferrothorn with Toxic Spikes, because the idea is if you can spread Toxic through Toxic Spikes, then you can stall things out a bit easier with Walrein. And I'll get into some changes I would make to the team later. And then a Garchomp just to clean things up, which also plays a pretty important role in this battle too. But yeah, this battle's absolutely crazy. I gotta talk about it. Look at the opponent's side. They're just running Drag Mag, which is pretty standard for Gen 5, right? Kind of forgot how much of a threat just Dragon Pokemon in general are in this generation. But yeah, off team preview, I feel like they're gonna lead Ferrothorn, just try to get some hazards going. I do have two Pokemon that are weak to Stealth Rock, so that makes sense. And I think that's the only Pokemon in their team that can set up Stealth Rocks. But yeah, let's see what happens. This battle does get pretty crazy. I lead Tran, they lead Dragonite. I'm kind of thinking, okay, they're thinking I'm going to Earthquake, so they'll probably stay in. So I just opt to set up my rocks. They DD, and then I switch in. This is my main mistake I made early in this game. I'm thinking, okay, the Earthquake's coming this time. They got an Earthquake. No, they click Outrage. So Abomasnow goes down. Now at least I'm winning the Weather War because they don't have a Weather setter of their own. But yeah, so anyways, I send Heatran back out because I know they're locked into Outrage. I can at least roar this thing out then. Their Lumberry gets activated. And we get Magged here. Now, I don't think they're running HP Ground. Usually they run HP Fire, right? So they're out. Dragonite comes back in. I just Lava Plume it, hoping for a burn. I don't get it. I think I Protect on this next turn. No, they continue to Outrage, which is insane. I guess they don't have Earthquake. I just roar this thing out again. Scizor comes in. Wasn't expecting a Scarf Scizor, but they outspeed and kill us with Superpower. Which is fine. It reveals something about their team. We're down 2 Pokemon now, so I go to Reuniclus knowing they're locked in. Dragonite comes back out. I just set up a Calm Mind, and then they just keep clicking Outrage, and we just knock it out with Psyshock. But they've still got 2 more Dragon Pokemon to deal with, for us to deal with. Scizor comes in, obvious U-turn. I go into a defensive Fortress here. Fortress really isn't doing much this battle because, as you can see from their team, nothing can actually be affected by Toxic Spikes. Not a single thing. Everything's either floating or Steel type. 3 Steel types, and all 3 Dragons are floating, so Toxic Spikes are kind of useless. This Fortress can't really do anything else, and since this Magnazone's on a balloon, I think Fortress has Earthquake. I just blow up to break the sub, because that's all I could really do in that position, unfortunately. Reuniclus, we send it in. I miss a Focus Blast, which sucks. Hindsight, maybe I should have recovered and tried to stall this thing out a bit more, but that's fine. Now, this is a pretty pivotal point in the battle. They have 5 Pokemon remaining. 5. And we have 2. A Scarf Garchomp and a Walrein, and the Hail's here to stay, unless they have some kind of weather clear on their team. So, pretty pivotal moment. I go into Garchomp to scare this thing out. I go for the Fire Fang instead of the Earthquake, just thinking, I mean, they've got 2 more Floatymons that could come in afterwards. And then after, they send out their Latios. So I go into Walrein, they go for the Dragon Pulse, and this actually gives us some really useful information. You see that roll, Dragon Pulse is actually doing 55%, which kind of helps me out with a little bit of math later on, as you'll see when we encounter this thing again. But that was really useful information just to see how well Walrein can take that. So this Walrein has Protect, Sub, Roar, and what's the last move? Protect, sub, roar. Oh, and rest is the last move as well. So, anyways, I roar out that Ferrothorn. Scizor comes back in. It's gonna click Superpower, so I go into Actually, I protect first to get a bit more HP here. Walrein has the ability Ice Body, so it's actually getting a little bit more. It's like getting double leftovers every single turn because it's getting some healing in the hail too. Here we go, Garchomp. They take some rough skin damage here too. And I think I click Fire Fang. They actually opt to switch into Ferrothorn, which is not going to take this very well. We take some Iron Barbs. Thankfully, they're not Rocky Helmet. I just proceed to knock this thing out. Do we get knocked out? Not quite. But Garchomp's quite low. And then here, I just let Scizor take us out with a BP. They fall as well. And now it's Walrein versus 2 dragons, and this is where the battle really picks up. Now, them knowing how much Dragon Pulse is doing, on our Protect, they actually go for the Draco Meteor. Now, I know from before, from the damage before, that at full health, we should be taking this. But if we are going to take this, we're going to be quite low. So I actually click Rest on this turn, knowing they're going to outspeed us, obviously. And because of the drop, if they stay in and keep Dracoing, we're going to beat this thing one-on-one unless they get a crit, right? So, yeah, they go into Salamence here. We're obviously asleep. We burn a turn of sleep. We get to see how much Outrage does here, and it's not even doing half. I'll show you the spread on Walrein after the battle here, but Walrein's got some decent bulk to deal with these dragons here. Now, things would have gone a little bit quicker if I had Ice Beam over Roar, and that's something I'd consider on this team, is maybe just don't run 4 non-attacking moves, but it really worked in this situation because I can just keep alternating between Protect, and now that I know how much Outrage is doing, I can actually set up a sub. And as you can see, when we alternate between Protect and sub, we actually get enough HP back that we'll always end up back at 50%. So we're going to beat the Salamence one-on-one. Obviously being mindful of how much PP we had, but I mean, that was the only real way out of this. I guess I could have rested at some point, but I just want to make sure we're in a good position to take on Latios. That's kind of my whole motivation of playing this out, was like, okay, I want to be in the best position possible to take on the Latios. Because if we're at a low enough HP and we're not behind a sub, they could just knock us out with Draco Meteor, right? So if we keep playing things this way, we will end up behind a sub against that Latios. And yeah, we just keep ending up at 50%. It's a wonderful thing. Yeah, substitute again. They're slowly dying to hail. That's the whole point of this. This thing's probably like Bandit or Scarf or something like that, because they're not getting any HP back. Maybe Lum. I don't know if we saw Lumberry earlier or not. I know we did on the Dragonite. So anyways, we were successful in getting behind a sub with the Latios coming out here. Just Protect to get a bit more HP. And we can honestly just repeat the exact same process. On the Protect turn, or on the next turn, they break our sub, we set up a new one. We can just do the exact same thing we were doing against the Salamence. And I think our opponent knows that. They know they're not going to outstall us, and they actually forfeit. So that was a pretty interesting game. I'll leave the replay in the description. I'll also leave this team in the description. Please feel free to modify it. This is not a good team at all, but this is just kind of the spread on everything. And yeah, that Walrein, pretty good mixed bulk. I've kept things pretty even here, but yeah, honestly, not a bad Pokemon. I mean, when you look at that HP stat and that combination of those 2 defensive stats, really not too bad. You know, replacing Roar with maybe like Ice Beam or even Toxic, just to have like that extra bit of stalliness. You could even go Yawn if you wanted. There's no sleep user on this team, so you could totally run Yawn if you want. So there are some options. And yeah, that was a bulky, physically offensive Abomasnow, which really didn't get to do much. That battle would have been a lot easier if we had Ice Shards. So that mistake early on in the battle really hurt us, because that would have made Salamence, Dragonite, and Latios a heck of a lot easier. But I was kind of playing around Dragonite Earthquake early in that game. And yes, Spadef, Heatran, defensive Uniclus. Yeah, kind of a weird Fortress being physically defensive. Oh, I guess I didn't have Earthquake. It was Spin. And then a Scarf Garchomp. So, I don't know. I'll leave the team in this description, but please modify it. This is not a good team. It's just a fun team I like to mess around with once in a while. But anyways, yeah, that was a pretty crazy battle. And yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.